Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 23 of Ragnamod 5. In between episodes, didn't really do much. I moved all of my stuff away from the Essentia smelter area until we can take care of that rift, and I've just moved it over here. I did so with the use of cardboard boxes and these diamond chests. And yeah, I have all my void jars in here, the void jars that were actually full, and all of my spare ones. And then all of the warded jars in here. And all of the rest of everything else. I realized while I was editing episode 22 that despite going through everything to make the mnemonic device, I didn't actually show what the mnemonic device was for. So if you look inside the Thaumcraft, you'll see that right here, I can only do one recipe. But if you attach the mnemonic device to it, I keep wanting to call it the mnemonic, but the mnemonic device, you see that I can have a total of 3 recipes going at the same time in the Thaumcraft. So that's really all the mnemonic matrix is for. I can have multiple ones attached to the sides here, no problem, and increase the amount of recipes I do. I'm not really worried about that right now. And I do have a zombie brain in here because I was just going through all of the quests. If you look in the Auromancy tab, have this brain in a jar. Oh, I need to do a theory Auromancy. But with this brain in the jar, it'll actually help me when it's by the research table do Auromancy. So I'm going to be making that sometime this episode as well. I also just got bored and made this over here. So I'm going to turn off my Fluxo magnet. And we're going to head down here. What this is it is just a area where I can collect experience. Because we're going to get into Auromancy this episode. And I'm going to need a lot of experience. So you see that I have 54 levels. I've been coming here quite a bit. And all of these items are despawning before they become a lag issue. That's no issue. And I just really want all of this, yeah, 55 levels. I just really want all of this experience. But with that, we're going to move on to Auromancy. It's not a very long topic, but it can get a little bit confusing. You see that I have my blank lesser focus in here. This is the focal manipulator. And when you have the blank lesser focus, you'll see a whole bunch of things that you can choose here. So, first one I'm going to choose is touch. So whenever you choose touch on one of your foci, that means that within 4 blocks of where you are, then you can use one of these elements. I do not know what this dislocation is. I couldn't find any information on it online. It may be added by Thaumic Tinkerer. I don't know. But I'm not going to touch it just because it doesn't have an icon. It's probably glitched. I don't want to risk it. But I'm also going to choose fire. You see over here, these crystals required. As I choose things, you see no crystals required right now. Aversio is required for the touch, and then Ignis is required for the fire. I can change the burn duration, and these numbers are going to start to change. So this is your complexity. You can have a total of 15 points of complexity in this blank lesser focus. This is how much experience is going to cost me, and this is going to be the cost of V whenever I want to make this focus. So you need to make sure that there's enough V in the chunk to do it. And then it's going to be 1.6 V per cast. So whatever chunk I'm in, if I have more than enough, then 1.6 is no problem. But the burn duration, I'm going to keep that down to 0. Actually, do I have fire tick off? Whatever. I'm going to keep burn duration at 1, but I'm going to turn the power up to 5. You need quite a bit of V to cast this. V per cast is going to be 2.6, but it's going to be quite a powerful foci. And this is the one that I'm going to make. I just need to grab the Ignis and the Aversio crystal. And I don't think I have an Aversio crystal. I'm going to go get an Aversio crystal. And I'll be back with you to cast that focus. So it looks like one of the cheapest things that I can make are these a Thaum from Project Red Exploration. And if you look at it, it's going to give me 4 of the Aversio I want. But I'm, of course, going to need 2 of them. Also, I'm going to release too much flux into the air. So I'm just going to throw both of these in here and sliver them all out. There we go. Alright, now that I have slivered all them out, I have Dysiridium, Metallum, and Aversio. So, you're going to need quite a bit of Aversio if you want to make all of the foci. I'm not really going to make all of the basic foci. I really only have need for fire, and I'm not going to be using the gauntlet very often. But, touch, fire, power 5, burn duration, and start crafting. Ooh. Do I have 133V in here? Yeah, I have 133V. Why can I not cast you? Well, that was silly. I never grabbed the Ignis V crystal, so now I can actually start crafting this. I just have to reset this to power 5, burn duration 1, start crafting. Oh, V cost is going down. And there we go. I have a blank lesser focus with touch of fire. So all you need to do in order to equip this thing is have your caster gauntlet, have the blank lesser focus you want, press F, and you'll see each focus that you have in your inventory will become available to you. So I now have this on fire, and I'm going to go find a mob. Oh yeah, look at all these slimes. Oh, another thing. I took some of my slime cubes from the real world that I've been getting from loot bags, and... Oh, that's silly. Here we go. Put this in the real hand. You see that I am firing fire. Lighting them on fire, and like I said, you have to be within like 4 blocks of these things. And this is not as powerful as I wanted it to be, but you can see basically what these can do. And if you look at the... I'm going to press F again. Oh, my mistake. I'm sorry. Put this in my offhand. Press F again. Why can't I remove the... There it goes. Hit Shift F, and it removes the focus. So, power 5. This used to actually tell me how much damage I would be doing. Doesn't appear to do that anymore. But, oh well. I at least have this blank lesser focus. And one thing I forgot to go over is you can actually name these. So if you have different burning foci with different levels of burn duration or what have you, you can actually go over here and rename it. So I'm just going to name this First Fire. And, oh yeah, that's unfortunate. I would have to recraft this, and I do not have the V in order to do this. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to rename it First Fire once I have the 133 necessary. And yeah, I'll be back with you once that's done. Alright, I got it. Going to start crafting. It's going to suck the V from this area. And you can actually, once this is done, here you go, First Fire, done. You can actually use your workbench charger on the focal manipulator to have the same benefits as if it was on a arcane workbench. It's going to take the V from the surrounding 8 chunks and allow you to not have to wait around in the chunk for the aura to repopulate itself. I don't know why there's an asterisk there. Did I put the asterisk there? Yes, I did, because asterisk is my record button. Alright, well, this is First Fire asterisk. But now that I have that, I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is the foci pouch. If I'm going to make a lot of foci, then the focus pouch will help me keep all of them. So it's going to require quite a bit of leather. Ooh, this mundane belt. Oh, okay, I can craft the mundane belt. Nice. But yeah, a mundane belt, leather, and piece of gold, and I can hold all of I can hold quite a bit of foci. Does it actually say how many? No, it does not, but that's perfectly fine. I'm going to craft that up, have my focus pouch, and I'm going to make the next one, which is Focus Effect Flux. Alright, so I have made my focus pouch, rather, and it is in my belt bauble slot. And even though it's in my belt bauble slot, I can still hit F, which is my, caster gauntlet selected, and hit F, and I can still choose my foci that are in there. The focus belt can hold, the focus pouch can hold 18 different foci. So, bully for that. But next we're going to work on the Focus Effect Flux and the Focus Medium projectile. So the Focus Effect Flux, using elements as a weapon benefit, raw magic dash is destructive. Focus Effect Flux is now unlocked, so if I go back to my focal manipulator and put in a blank foci, I need to make more of those actually. Yeah, I'm going to make more of those, then I'll be back with you. I can only scrounge up enough Percantio to make 2 blank lesser focus, but it'll do for now. I definitely need to figure out a better way to get Percantio. I'm going to put this blank lesser focus in here. Once again, choose Touch and choose Flux. You see it's going to require a Versio and a Vitium crystal. Vitium is easy enough to make with the amount of tainted soil I have, so I've just been slivering it out of a Crucible. I'm going to turn the power up. Ooh, I can't turn the power up. Makes it too complex. Also requires quite a bit of V in order to cast. In order to create. Quite a bit to cast. But yeah, that's fine. We're going to start crafting this. Oh, should probably name it something as well. Keeping with the alliteration, we'll go First Flux. And craft it. There we go. We got first flux. So I'm going to put this in my pouch. I don't think I have a way to open the pouch when it's in my bauble slot. I'll do a little bit more research on that. But put this back in the bauble slot. Caster Gauntlet, hold F, first flux. And we're going to go, oh yeah, this creeper's a perfect test subject. Huh. Is that releasing flux into the atmosphere? No, it is not. 11.5. So this is where I was casting it. 13. Oh well, that's unfortunate. 12.8. So I don't think it's increasing the flux, but that's not as powerful as I thought. So Shift F, remove it from my caster gauntlet. Let's move on to the next one. And the next one is going to be, if you open up the Thaumonomicon, a focus medium. So touch is a focus medium, but now we're going to have projectile medium. So touching my foe to set them alight is fine and all. I would much rather hurl magic at them from afar. So you need Theory on Auromancy, which is easy enough to get. Be careful when you're doing Theory on Auromancy because you can increase your warp. And yeah, if you see here, I have quite a bit of temporary and permanent sanity, insanity, and later on in this episode, I'm actually going to make an item that will get rid of that temporary sanity. I will always have that permanent sanity on me, though. So, yeah, be careful whenever you're at the research table doing Auromancy stuff. A lot of it will increase your Eldritch and Warp. But now that I have Focus Medium complete, I can now place energy of the focus into a magical projectile that can hurl itself. So I need a normal projectile, a fiery projectile, and a sticky projectile. I don't know what that sticky projectile is, so I'm going to do a little research. So right over here, this is our spitting projectile. I did that little research, and all I have to do is really just hit him, and he'll spit at me. Spit at me. There we go. I learned some more about projectiles. Oh, I haven't scanned a llama yet. Why can't I scan him? Really? Is it because he's hostile to me? Alright, well, I have one more. So, I'm going to let him spawn, move out of range. I'll let him spawn, and then I'll try to scan him when he isn't technically hostile to me. Alright, this one just freshly spawned in. This is kind of annoying. There we go. Alright, so I have scanned the llama. That's perfectly fine. Now let's work on getting that fiery projectile, which is kind of obvious. Alright, I've got my fiery projectile. It was obviously from blazes. It was either that or gas, but regardless, you had to be in the nether for it. So I'm going to return back home, wherever the heck my portal is. Yeah, I'm going to return back to the mining dimension so we can craft up our next focus. Here we are back in the mining dimension. Focus medium projectile complete. So I've discovered methods to improve the utility of the projectile even further. So when this projectile hits a solid surface, it will bounce off. Projectiles with this special property will automatically redirect their flight path towards hostile targets. And similar to seek hostiles, this projectile will seek out friendlies. Nice. So I already have my foci in here. Choose projectile, and we're going to use fire. So I don't know how to actually. I'm not sure how to actually change whether or not it's seeking hostiles or anything. But I'm going to up the power to 4. It's going to require an ignis crystal and a motus crystal. The motus crystal is really easy. It's just wooden trap doors. It's the easiest way that I found to get it. And yeah, let's go find the. Let's go get these ignis and make this foci. Oh, once again, whenever you open up the table again, you're going to have to replace the focus. Otherwise, none of the stuff available to actually craft it will be there. But fire, power 4. I'm not going to worry about the burn duration. And 1 ignis, 1 motus. Here it is, crafting it up. Oh, I forgot to name it. Oh, whatever, that's fine. That's why I grabbed 2. That's why I thought I grabbed. There we go. That's why I grabbed 2 Ignis anyway. Just in case I messed up. Here we go. Alright, so I've named it Spit Hot Fire. And add it to my focus pouch. Here we go. Re-equip you. So I know that there is a hotkey to open up your baubles menu. It interferes with everything else because it's a mod pack. It has so many different hotkeys. So it's just easier to open up this anyway. I'm surprised nobody's ever commented about that before. But let's put on the caster gauntlet. Hit F, and we're going to use Spit Hot Fire. Now we have some slimes over here again. Let's see how this does. It says that this is affected by gravity. Oh yeah, that is not a very good range at all. Looks like I can change the angle of it. And it is actually lighting some stuff on fire. It's probably going to be better if I use it from above. Oh yeah, much better when I use it from above. Also got to be careful that I'm not using up all of my V in this chunk. Costs 2.8 to cast and 102 V left in this chunk to use. So yeah, that's no problem. There we go. Lead the slimes towards here. Boom. But yeah, that's that focus. So the rest of these are, they pretty much speak for themselves. You just complete whatever the quest is, and you can get the focus medium or the actual focus effect. You also have advanced foci, but in order to get into advanced foci, I need to get into our arcane infusion, which I am not ready to do right now. So instead, we're going to work on this V battery. The V battery is what is required in order to do this flux cleanup and the closing the flux rifts. So this is very important to me right now. But I'll require some observation of artifice and Auromancy. Complete that. And I can create a V battery. If the local aura is above 95% of its normal capacity, the battery will absorb V, and if the aura drops below 75%, it will discharge. So it's just a way to make sure that whatever aura you're in is always going to have a steady amount of V inside it. There are a few drawbacks, however. While it is quicker and a lot more reliable than natural V crystals, the battery still takes some time to react to changes in the local aura. The second drawback is its capacity. It can only store 10 points of V. My attempts to increase this have proven disastrous. I guess this just means I will need to use them in larger numbers. Applying a redstone signal to the battery will not only prevent it from functioning, but it will rapidly discharge any V it is holding back into the aura. So I'm going to make this V battery, which is arcane stone slabs and V resonators. Super easy to make, just the quartz and iron plates. I have plenty of those. And yeah, I am going to make a couple of them. Here we go. 2 V batteries. Oh, I did not grab enough crystals, but 1 V battery. And you know what? That's perfectly fine with me. Now that I have that V battery, I can get to the most important part of this episode, which is going to be flux cleanup and closing flux rifts. There's also something else that opened up as well when I was perusing this. Oh yeah, right here. Arcane Spa and Sanity Soap. I just need to do purifying bath salts. So I'm going to get into that this episode as well. You know, come to think of it, I think this popped up in between episodes. I got a message down at the bottom that said, how do I get something along the lines of, how do I get these headaches to go away? And that was most definitely related to the warp. So yeah, that's probably when purifying bath salts showed up. But warp is a danger for even the most careful of thaumaturges. For those that have done a bit too much dabbling, warp effects are probably more than just an annoyance. I should make solving this problem a priority. These are observation, eldritch, and theory alchemy. Complete that. And I can make these purifying bath salts. I've drawn up a recipe to create relaxing and refreshing bath salts. Simply tossing these salts into water will turn the water into a silvery, purifying liquid that soothes away the stresses of the day and brings temporary relief from the effects of the warp. I should know, however, that the more warp a thaumaturge suffers from, the shorter the duration of this protection. The salts are quite fragile and will soon dissolve if tossed around haphazardly. Oh, wow, that's expensive. Air Cognitio Ordo Victus and Salus Mundus. Alright. Well, we have that done, so what is this arcane spa? Pouring bath salts into water is a bit of a chore, but luckily wow, I'm sorry, my accent came out there. Pouring bath salts into water is a bit of a chore, but luckily one easily solved with a bit of magic and ingenuity. Created a handy machine that when filled with water and bath salts will automatically mix them and pump the liquid into an area above it. The liquid will fill a 5x5 area above the location where the machine is placed. Huh. It can be used to pump nearly any liquid I can fill it with. It can be filled with automation or by clicking on the block with an appropriate container. Applying a redstone signal will disable it. Oh, interesting. I need the simple arcane mechanism, which I can't make yet. But the last one is sanity soap. Seem to have stumbled upon something here. Bath salts relax the body and bring temporary relief from warp, but I need a more permanent solution. Something that will cleanse my body of warp completely. Sympathetic magic could come in handy here. Soap cleanses the body, but with the proper amount of persuasion, maybe it can cleanse the mind as well. I need theory alchemy for that, since I just spent it. But, oh, looks like the sanity soap is going to cure me completely of warp. I'm not really worried about warp right now, because I have such a small amount of it, but it's good to know that these recipes are now unlocked to me. So, let's get back to the task at hand with making the flux cleanup. So in order to do the flux cleanup, I already have all the observation and the theory Auromancy I need. This is a file of Vitium. And the file of Vitium, once again, is no problem. Actually, I may have Vitium in one of these. Actually, I have Vitium inside my void jar. But it's only 2, so it's not going to do for me. I just need to find the Vitium. Unfortunately, yeah, it's really weird. The, doing a JEI search doesn't actually work on it, so gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Vitreous. Huh, I have no Vitium in this warded jar, so I'm gonna need to make some more Vitium. That's fantastic. But that's what my 14 stacks of tainted soil are for. Alright, so I just smelted up some of the soil over here and put it into a Vitium jar, filed that out. I have my file of Vitium now. So let's complete that quest. Over here. Find a way to turn pure flux into the aura, into flux essentia. Flux essentia is hardly benign, but is much easier to handle than raw flux. Unfortunately, the process is not simple, cheap, or fast. I've drawn plans for a flux condenser. When supplied with lots of oh, great. Yeah, basically what this is saying that whenever I have this thing in an aura, it will just draw the flux away, and I need to get into Auromancy. Well, this is great. It also costs 500 V in order to make. The condenser is not all that is needed. I also need a special lattice that will actually draw the flux from the aura. The lattice pieces can be connected to the top of the condenser and each other to form the multi-block structure. The more pieces I connect, the quicker the condenser can draw flux from the aura. It does, however, increase the essentia cost. The lattice cannot be attached any old way. These are just the instructions. I can't craft this. Well, son of a gun. Alright, it was a lot of work getting the correct amount of crystals to do theory alchemy, but we can finally complete closing flux rifts. And instead of the chaotic energy formed with these flux rifts, an interesting discovery. The rifts themselves are inherently unstable. In theory, they will close naturally should they become unstable enough. But the laws of our reality makes them highly unlikely. Instead, their unstable energy is usually released in smaller bursts. Oh, I need to get into Arcane Fusion. Actually, this is really easy. It's just a very high instability. I require 50 Vitium, 50 Alienus. Yeah, I can actually make this. I just have to get into Arcane Fusion. Ugh. Unfortunately, anything else that I want to do today, particularly for getting rid of the flux, is going to take too much time and too much prep work, and that prep work can be spent, honestly, in between episodes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with this enchanted fabric. If you look inside the Thaumanomicon in the Discovering Infusion, you see that I have enchanted fabric right here. With the enchanted fabric, I can make thaumaturge robes, leggings, and boots, which will decrease the amount of V it'll take in order to craft most things in an arcane workbench. So I already have the string and the wool available. I'm just going to craft a full stack of it. There we go. And with that, I can make thaumaturge leggings, thaumaturge boots, and a thaumaturge robe. So the goggles of revealing count as the headpiece to this armor set. So I'm just going to take off my living armor, throw this on, And if I want to craft something else, actually, what else can it even be used on? Oh, the rest is used in the infusion crafting for the void thaumaturge hood. But at least I have the thaumaturge robes now, and I'm going to get stuff available for a recipe that requires the workbench, just so you can see how much the discount will be. Here we go. We're in the full set. In order to craft a recharge pedestal, it's going to cost 87V with my 13% discount. So normally it's 100V. I haven't made one yet anyway, so let's make it, plop it down. And what this is for is if I have something that requires V in order to be used, then I can place it in the recharge pedestal. It'll suck V from the aura and recharge it that way. So yeah, it's a little bit quicker. But with that, I think I'm actually going to call this. I'm going to call this episode. No, it feels a little short. At least it feels a little short to me. We'll see once we edit the episode. But in the next episode, I'm actually going to take a break from Thaumcraft because I'm getting a little Thaumcraft burnt out. I know we still need to get into the infusion. I'm not going to cover anything else in Auromancy. If you look at the Auromancy tab, it's mostly just finding different ways to make foci. I can't even make the advanced foci until I get into infusion. And yeah, so we are done with Auromancy. When I do next get into Thaumcraft, it is going to be working on Arcane Infusion, because that is that's a big one, especially if I want to get this like Thaumium Fortress armor. I want to get the Thaumium armor sets so I can put them on the Cathedral. But in the next episode, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm sure I'll figure it out in between episodes. I am Kelly Engineering. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.